episode 185 of the Knitting Samurai and Her Guys video podcast. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai on Ravelry and Instagram, as well as Adore Knit Steph on Instagram if you'd like to follow the shop account. So, how's it been going? I know, it's been a while since we recorded and we're inside, but it was just too hot today. We're having a heat wave here in New Hampshire. Feel really bad for the kids at school. Actually, the first day of school was canceled for second grade in our town because they're doing renovations in the school and the kids were in the gym and the air conditioner wasn't hooked up properly, so the gym was 900 degrees. So the first day of school was actually the second day of school for my second grader. So let me tell you more about life later in the show. So let me tell you what I've got. I've got some works in progress and a finished object that I'm wearing and a finished object that I finished this week, and a newly minted 7-year-old that I will tell you about that, and a shop update. There we go. So let's get into it without anything further delaying us. I know I had mentioned a little bit on Instagram. I didn't want to talk too much about it because I was worried that I was going to lose him. So my 14-year-old cat named Linus, who is my heart kitty. We have 3 cats, but he's the one that's my shadow, my buddy. 14 years is a long time to have a pet, and I got him as a little, I want to say 12-week-old kitten, and I carried him around as a baby to teach him to like be comfortable upside down with me, and gave him treats, and his behavior is perfectly what I want for me, although he is not a fan of other people around, but that's okay. Not other people, but other cats. Anyways, he was really sick, right? He's gone from being an almost 9-pound cat to a 5.5-pound cat, and he was a skeleton. And we've done all these tests and we've done all this stuff, and we finally ended up doing the shot of prednisone and x-rays to make sure that there were no, I think he's getting into trouble, or the girl is, to make sure there were no growths. So no signs of cancer, because in cat years, he's over 75, he's 76, 77. So, you know, we're talking about a geriatric cat here, and that kind of weighed in on our treatment of him. But at the same time, I was like, oh my God, this is my baby. I'm talking way too much about this. Okay, I'll wrap it up quickly. I just wanted to let you know that everything came back fine. Blood work fine, x-rays fine, nothing wrong with this cat. We see no reason why he's eating and getting sick all over your house and having bowel problems, and there's no sign. So first we went back to grain-free, which is what he had always eaten. Still wasn't fixing it. So then we went to wet food and dry food from the vet, the ID. I don't know, I think it used to be Science Diet, but now it's something else. Anyways, he doesn't like the wet, which is fine with me. I don't need to feed a cat wet food, but I have been feeding him 4 times a day, dry kibble, and he's loving it, and he's up to 6.7 pounds, yay, in 2 weeks. So he's, his personality only started to change right there at the very worst point, but up, except for like 3 days where I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose him. He's still been his happy-go-lucky sweetheart of a cat. So, yay! I don't have to say goodbye to my Lila yet. So, just wanted to tell you that in case you had been thinking but didn't want to bring it up and whatever, all that stuff. So, I am wearing the pie shawl, and I put it on, PHI, all nicely. So this is Leading Men Fiber Arts in that teal color, and then the variegated is Into the World. This pattern is by, you can see it's a really long, really super long, very thin shawl that I can wrap twice, and it's still going, and it looks great, and I love it, and those colors just make it match with everything, and teal, that deep teal is my favorite color. So that's what I'm wearing today. But I also finished some socks, woohoo! So you saw these last week. These have been my bus stop socks. See if I hold it at exactly that angle. That was a fly. Steve is traveling for work, and there's been a fly in the house, and I can't kill flies. So he's our our fourth roommate while Steve is gone. But anyway, so this is Barocco sock in the colorway 1425 Rapunzel. I just saw that that's the name of the colorway, so isn't that pretty? So I knit 2 of these. I did Afterthought heels, so here's my little marker telling me I had about that much of the cuff to go. 2 Afterthought heels. They came out pretty gosh darn similar. Of course I did color management. Of course I did. I'm me. I'm a perfectionist. It actually bothers me a little bit that the cuff of the first sock is green with a blip of magenta, and the cuff of the second sock is magenta with a blip of green. So good that these are going away. I am a little OCD. It's getting worse too. I don't know. It's like I'm having to make less concessions in my life now that I'm not working. I'm in a glider. I'm sorry. I'll try not to wiggle. But I'm having to make fewer concessions, and I take life a lot slower and think things through a lot. And so I'm becoming very much like, oh, can't stand that. I have to fix it. So, oh well. I'm sure I could take a medication for that if I wanted to, but I don't, so I'm good. Let's move on. So these are done. These are a Christmas gift for one of the ladies in my family whose feet are much smaller than mine, but you know, sock stretch. And so anyways, the pattern is out of my head, 2x2 rib on the top, plain stockinette on the sole of the foot, 2x2 rib up the leg, toe up, Afterthought heels. I like Afterthought heels. I can't help it. I just like them. So great to have these done. I cast these on during Socktober. Aphrodite is tearing around here. She's 5, but man, she acts like a kitten. Cast these on in October, so this is officially, I think I had 3 or 4 pairs going for Socktober last year, and now they are all done. September 1st. Time to cast on some more. So those are behind me. All right, what else have I been working on? I told you, let's see, I'm not really 100% certain what's in here. Okay, so I told you about the hitch pullover that I'm knitting for Roland. Here's a side shot of it. These are twisted ribs. It's twisted rib on the bottom. It's just slow going, you know, slow going. He's getting big. I'm knitting, I adjusted the pattern down. It's actually a woman's pattern, and I adjusted it down from the smallest size to the size I need for him, which is like a 28 from a 36, I wanna say. So it's a little bit smaller. Oh good, I'll just make this work. My needles are not quite, see, they're not quite magic loopable. They're a little too long, so I've been doing the traveling loop. If you're new to knitting, that's where you fold one like that, and then you move your needles, your yarn, and as you knit around, that loop just goes around, and when you get to it again, you just pull your cord long and fold it again. In case you aren't aware that that's a technique you can use if your cord is too long for knitting something in the round. You don't need to buy smaller cords. You just either do magic loop, which is you pull the cord halfway across, right? You pull out extra cord and knit that way, or you do traveling loop. I don't mind traveling loop. It's not my favorite for sure. So here's where we are. There's that ribbing I showed you. So this is a 28. I'm a little nervous looking at it. So he's 7, and he's a big 7. He's a tall, stocky. Someone told me at soccer last night, oh, he's thinning out. He's not as stocky as he used to be. Excuse me? My baby was never stocky. He's perfect. It was a man. I had to forgive him. You know, there was absolutely no judgment. And his son is like a little beanpole, so I think there was some envy in that. But anyways, so I'm a little worried, right? At how, let me see, I'm pulling on it. I must have a measuring tape. I have a bouncing ball from the birthday. I'll leave that out where a little one can find it. Little ones with little hands. I hear one, woohoo! Spinning yarns. Let's see. Yeah, it's the only LYS that was here when we moved here that's still open. There were like 3 or 4 of them. We moved here in 2003 in like a 20-mile radius. There were 3, 4. Oh no, Yarn Seller's still here in Kittery. But I don't often think to go to Maine to buy yarn. I often don't buy yarn, as you know. I used to. I was crazy. I'm measuring here. So stretched a little bit, it's at a 29. So, and if I don't stretch it at all, if I let this ribbing be like super bunched up like it wants to be, it's 20. That's quite the difference. But if I measure across the top of the ribbing, it's 23. It's fine. It can have a little negative ease. A little negative ease. So for this pattern project, it's the hitch pullover. I said that, but did I tell you who it's by? It came from fall 2018 Interweave. Nope, 2014. Sorry. If you're looking for it, you have to go to the back issues. It's by Vanessa Ewing. That's what it's by. And yeah. So it's going swimmingly, bottom up. I think I mentioned last time, this is probably the first bottom up sweater in the round I've ever done. So, and there's my progress. There's how much I've done. I need to switch and get my Halloween and Christmas markers on. I'm gonna take that off. See, I'm lining up all my reminders over here. I'm using Cascade 220 in the color 801 Superwash. So I am knitting on size way too big needles, size 8s, but it's okay, we'll see. And if it pills right away because the fabric is very loose, which is more than likely going to happen, then it pills and I learned my lesson. I will tell you, knitting with a flat green yarn, a solid green yarn, is kind of boring. This is Sanctuary Self-Striping Vizio 7525 Superwash Wool Nylon by the lovely Desert Vista Dye Works. Shh, don't tell Steve, I just got a shipping notice. I think she was doing Valentine's Day. For some reason, she was doing it at a weird time though, like June. And I ordered, maybe it was July. I'm dropping stitches, people. I ordered 2 skeins then. So I'm gonna have some more headed my way. But don't you love these colors together? I'll be honest, I love teal. That's not the teal I love most. But the gray is so semi-solid. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So again, that same stitch sock pattern, it's my like go-to vanilla of Toa, what's her name? The figure 8 there. Can you picture doing it? Jenny's? No, it's not Jenny. It's the other one. Can't think of it. Whatever that cast on is, that's a figure 8. I love that cast on. So I did that there and 2x2 rib up the top. And so it makes for this extremely stretchy, beautiful fabric. Look at that. Oh, the crowd goes wild. Football season is about to start. I have the Fox theme song, dun, 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 as my ringtone, Fox Sports, but it's really football is what, I don't know. But anyways, it's my ringtone, and I was at the Subaru garage this morning with our 4-year-old Subaru. Oh my God, we got it when I was pregnant with Tris. I was there and my phone went off, and 3 different salespeople looked up and they were like, yeah! So football is coming, and so is the pigskin party. Are you in on it? I've never done it. And Boston Jen, this is her knit along that she hosts on the Downseller Studios. This is her 5th year doing it. I know. Every year in the past, I have not participated because the rules seem really daunting to me. So this year, I'm just kind of gonna like go with the flow and see if I can keep track of my projects and not make a big thing about it and not like kill myself to try and achieve some crazy goal. Just see if my stuff fits in, that's all. And Adorn It is one of the pro sponsors, so you're gonna see some special sets coming up, exclusive sets for that. So I finished a pair of socks, so I needed another pair of socks, and I mentioned Daryl. And so I believe, yes, I talked about it, but I hadn't made the decision. Mom helped me. We decided that cousin Daryl, like my other cousin Daryl, no, brother Daryl. It was brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. You remember that? What was that show called? Bob Newhart. I watched it a lot as a kid. I liked it. It was kind of quirky, and Stephanie had my name, but was very different. And I recognized that. And I was young watching that. But anyways, so we ended up picking these Patton's Croy colors to go together. One is turquoise jacquard, I believe. Yeah, turquoise jacquard. And this is flax. So this is my second pair of socks using the flax color. It's kind of interesting when they're done. I should take a picture of them together. One pair was for my father-in-law. This pair is for cousin Daryl. And see how they coordinate. So I'm going kind of against the grain, using the stripes for the accent and doing the solid for the majority. So I'll do heels, toes, and cuff with the striping yarn, and then I'll do the solid for the rest of it. So, excuse me. I knit that much at Girls Weekend last weekend. I cast down in the car, and I'm using size 1s. I think it's 1s. I'm gonna say they're 1s. The fabric is incredibly dense. I am so in love with it. I've never knit a sock and had it look like this. Like, seriously. So, I feel like a knitting machine. Like, so dense. So his feet are gonna be so toasty warm. I love it. I'm gonna be putting some hand knit love on those diabetic old feet. Super sweet though. So yeah, I think those will go with khakis well enough. And what will show under his pants and like over the top of his socks is gonna be the more conservative part, rather than doing a self-striping, because I don't think he's quite that loud in his footwear. So that's what's on the needles. I'm gonna knit. I'm gonna put my feet up. Oh, but that takes me further away from you. Well, let me just tell you about the birthday party that was. So we had a 4-day birthday camping extravaganza. So Roland left with my parents on Thursday night, and yeah, or Friday morning. No, he left Friday morning with my parents, spent the day with them, and Tristan and I, no. It's so long ago, I can't even remember. Okay, I drove there with my 2 boys, that's what it was. And they spent Friday night with my parents while I came back home. So they stayed at a campground that's half an hour away from us, and it's our annual birthday camping trip. So this is the 3rd year that Roland has wanted to go camping for his birthday. So we do, and the campground's awesome. They have a pool, they have a pond with all these boats, and an arcade, which I was good. I had a game plan that we could go to the arcade, but we could only spend $2 every time we went, and we could only go once a day. So there, I limited my damage, and okay, they talked me into a little bit more, but they get all these little prizes that they think are so wonderful, and 2 seconds after we walk out of the arcade, they forget. We played air hockey, and I whooped the pants off Roland. Tristan and Roland were playing, and Tristan didn't like it was too fast paced. He was just uncomfortable with the noise and the banging and the it's coming at me aspect of air hockey. So I stepped in and whoop, and Roland didn't even cry. So we're doing something right with that because, he can still get very upset about board games when he loses one of those, but he handled that well. We did the pool every day, so that was fun. They replaced, it's interesting going to a place multiple years, so we could see that they replaced the stairs into the pool, so they're nice new stairs. Tristan spent a good chunk of time hanging out on the stairs. And then Saturday, Steve flew home. He had been gone for 2 weeks for work. Hallelujah. Actually, he got in Friday night, but super late. So Saturday morning, he and I wrapped presents, and I put a carrot cake together because that's what Roland wanted. I put it together, just it ain't no thing. No, but I've baked, it's thundering now. I've baked the last 4 birthday cakes, and prior to that, I'd never baked a birthday cake in my life. So it's like, all right, I'm getting the hang of this. So it's going well. And the cake was delicious. I thought I had overcooked it, but everybody loved it. So woohoo! And yes, I did use a box mix, but I added carrots and pecans, totally spaced on raisins, which Roland says he doesn't like raisins. So then I said, okay, I did it on purpose. I love baked raisins, raisin ice cream, rum raisin. Oh, so good. So we had that. My in-laws came on Sunday for the actual party, along with Roland's big cousin, LT. So it was great to have her there and spend the day with her. I don't see her nearly enough. And he got all kinds of wonderful things. Actually, so this was part of my, everything except Pokemon PJs that he got from us. Oh, and the bike. I did get him a new bike and training wheels. But everything else was part of my Toys R Us going out of business haul. So that was awesome to give him, you know, big Lego sets that take like 4 or 5 hours to put together. So he got one for me, one for my parents, and one for my in-laws. So everybody got him good activities. We saved he made them within the first couple days because he had the next few days off from school. But I saved one that I told him he could do Columbus Day. So it's just good to have activities around the house for when he's home and I wasn't planning on him being home, you know. So there's that. It was great. He's 7. He's wonderful. He makes me laugh every day. He's a riot. So yeah, that's my big guy. And then we had Daddy here, Steve home for a week, and then I went off for girls' weekend. My aunt didn't get to come for Roland's party, and she missed us all. And so my cousin LT, she's my cousin. We met for girls' weekend, the 4 of us, which we've done a few times. The 2 sisters and then their 2 daughters. So it's a riot, a laugh and a half. We went to my cousin's apartment. So she's got this beautiful, oh my God, I hadn't seen it. It's a 1-bedroom apartment in an old mill building that she was saying it has a loft. It has a loft, but, or not, it doesn't have a loft, but like the walls don't go all the way to the ceiling so that the sunlight goes through into the other rooms, and it has these enormous windows, and it's just beautiful. Oh my God, it was so nice. I wish I had an apartment like that. I wish my house was like that. I mean, I love my house, but beautiful. Old original floors, all refinished, brand new kitchen. Oh my God, it was gorgeous. So Mom and I brought air mattresses and we slept in the giant living room together, and it was just so much fun and so much laughing and so much drinking. We are not a drinking family, but I think we were all just in a place where we needed to bond. And my mother's oldest sister, so she's one of 3, she passed away a year and a half ago. And so my cousin now lives very close to the town that my aunt lived in. And we just had all weekend, we had these little reminders of my Aunt Penny, who's passed away, of her all over the place. We just kept seeing them to the point that we went to the Olive Garden, because all 4 of us love the Olive Garden. And we're sitting there and we're drinking sangria, and the woman at the table next to us had a pair of crutches leaning in between my her chair and my aunt. And my Aunt Penny was handicapped, and like what I remember growing up was those big crutches. And so it's like we're sitting there at a restaurant in the town that she owned, that was her town that she lived in for like 30 years. 40 years. And there's a sign that she's there with us in spirit. It was just so moving and beautiful. And it was a great bonding experience for the 4 of us. You know, we're always crazy. We go shopping, we go to the movies. Oh my gosh. We went to see the Melissa McCarthy movie, but it had puppets. And we didn't realize that. And we got there and, oh, what else is playing? And this is like Central Maine. You know, you don't have a lot of choices. Excuse me. And so we ended up going to see, on the recommendation of the 17-year-old counter guy that was working there, he said, oh my God, you're going to love Mile 22. It's so good. It's so good. I've seen it twice. You're going to love it. So that's the Mark Wahlberg movie. I like looking at Mark Wahlberg. Oh, it was so intense. We went to like sit and put our feet up and relax in a air-conditioned movie theater in between lunch, shopping, and dinner and drinks and a band later in the night. Like, we all needed some downtime. And don't you know, we spent the whole time like, oh my God, between the action and the dialogue, it was so intense. We walked out and we all laughed because it's like, we should have seen a romantic comedy. Like, that's what we do, a musical. Like, I won't go with them to tearjerker, like, sappy movies. I don't do sappy. I don't like crying. So the four of us usually do comedies, and LT was pushing for Crazy Rich Asians, but it didn't line up timing-wise. So anyways, woo, that was intense. And then we drove back, and then we hit LL Bean. Are you familiar with LL Bean? I don't know if it's a Northeast thing or if it's across the whole country, but I haven't been to Freeport in a while. Steve and I in high school used to drive up to Freeport from Rockland to go shopping. It was like an hour and a half and exert our independence. 15, 16, no, not 15, but 16, 17, 18, we used to drive up there. So I haven't been in a good long time. And it's wonderful what that store has done for the town. It's just amazing. But anyways, we stopped and they were having a huge sale, and I got 3 new bathing suits. but they were 80% off. So woohoo! I'm gonna look good at swimming. Oh, and then we started swimming at a new pool. This one is saltwater. It's amazing. Although it seems that every time I go under, I come up and my face is red. But maybe that's because I had to work so hard to get under, because you're so buoyant in the salt water. It feels so good. Oh, it's wonderful. If there's one near you, go. Go check it out. I'm looking at myself and I feel like I have Roland's special ear. Is that ear sticking out more than... He has one ear that's very different than the other. I have to go look in the mirror now. Okay. I'm going to give you a shop update next, and I hope you see something you like and you come by the shop, check us out. We're having a 25% off $15 or more, and the pigskin party's going on, and it is a downpour out there right now. Hoo-wee. Can I show you? I don't know if it'll focus. Can you hear it? I don't know, but all right. Have a great 10 days or so, or more or less. I'll try to be back sooner. Take care. Mwah. Happy knitting!
Uh-oh, hello, do you see what I see, you? Hot space at 10 o'clock, don't look now, don't beat me up, because my mind, he calls on, he's sweet, like honeycomb, he's so delish, I bet he can kiss, so kissing all up in my zone.
You're the prettiest thing I've seen, I swear down you're the truth. Wanna take you home with me, and put your body to use. It's a mad thing how I feel, and I ain't even wait. All I wanna do with you is hey. Cause you know it when it feels so right. When our bodies move together and our souls unite. I want your love tonight. You got me feeling so good. Got me feeling so right. You got me saying, I swear, you and me can have some fun all night long. All night long. I swear, you and me, we can have some fun all night long. All night.
You caught my eye, I can't lie, you're definitely my type, big and tall, just how I like. This might be your lucky night, I want your lips on my skin, I want you to make me sing, cause I'm hot for you, and what I got for you, see you can be my king.
You're the prettiest thing I've seen. I swear down you're the truth. Wanna take you home with me and put your body to use. It's a mad thing how I feel, and